Hey y'all, it's Renee from Zone 9B, Panhandle, Florida region. Welcome back to my garden. So today, it is the first week of June, and it is plant. Anything that's in a pot has got to get in the ground. So I actually propagated a couple of mulberry trees from the one that I have already in my yard, and I gave some of them away, and now I'm left with this one other one. So I am going to go ahead and put that into the ground, and I am covered head to toe. I'm looking on the camera right here, and it looks like I've been nailed a few times with the little bit of space I had visible. But in Florida gardening, the pest pressure is very high right now, especially after the heavy rains that we received and open water features everywhere, at the bottom of people's driveways, back of people's yards, any pots anybody didn't flip over, not me, all my pots are flipped over, but they are everywhere. And my last gardening experience, even though I put a lot of this organic bug spray on and sunscreen, they were desperate. I'm just saying, they bit me through that. So we are covered head to toe today, almost. And we're gonna be going into the yard and do some gardening now. So yeah, I've actually spent an hour already out in the garden. I know, I did. I had to move that big grass pile that I had that I showed you in the last video. And I had to move some things around in my compost area. It has been actually a busy, we've only been off 2 days from school, but we've already repaired fence. I gotten things in the ground. I had to get car service. I mean, there was a lot going on. So now we're gonna have a wonderful Monday, first week of June, getting some things in the ground. So let me show you where I'm thinking about putting that mulberry tree. So I dug up these two. I'm assuming they're native, but they look almost like a boxwood that I found growing wild in the back of my property. But I'm thinking about, since we had a tree over there that we had to remove because it had a split trunk, which, by the way, I think is growing a type of mushroom. They're almost all gone now. Oh, look, there's some over here that I can show you that are pretty fresh. Right here, here, and even growing where I assume the root is under the ground. That is going to be, I believe, a hairy oyster. And you can actually eat these, but they don't look so appetizing to me. So I'm not going to be touching these, unfortunately. But I'm just noticing over here, oh, there is a lot of something that laid some eggs. Gosh, I hope those aren't freaking slug eggs, just saying. But I also want to show you this. If I can find this little fella. Yep, he hitchhiked right here. I don't believe I have an ever-bearing blackberry tree because I don't have any more blackberries. A little history for you here. White mulberries were used to feed silkworms of Asia. They were found in Northeast and Central Asia, whereas the black mulberry was found more in the Southwest region. Whereas the red mulberry is actually native to North America. However, there is a lot of hybrids between the species, making the classification even more challenging. They can grow from zones 4 to 9. Any fresh leaf can be used in teas as well. But sometimes you can get a spring and you can get a fall harvest. And the ones that aren't ever bearing are supposedly, I think, sweeter. Mine are pretty small. Some can be larger, the fruit, and maybe as the tree ages, it'll get larger. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, Renee, that's a shady spot. I'm just telling you, sunlight is a high commodity in my yard. And I was watching one of my favorite YouTubers, and she's a Floridian, and she even said, hey, if the tag says full sun, that is part sun. We have to equivalent that to part sun in the Florida yard. We're so close to the equator. She was telling me there was only like 3 places on Earth that are equivalent to our climate. Oh gosh, where did she say that we were?
The library is open!
But it is extremely hot and humid, and because we're so close to the equator, it's very, very hot here, and the sun is very brutal. So I'm thinking late afternoon sun will be enough for it here. And you know what? Even if it doesn't do great, I've got another one over there that produces for me. And this was a free tree, and it's like 5 feet now. So I can't complain. So we're gonna go ahead and get that in the ground. So I got about 4 or 5 inches down, and then I started hitting roots that were like this big. So we're gonna make this work, all right? I'm probably gonna have to splay the roots, but we're gonna make it work. And that soil looks pretty skippy. So I think I'm just gonna leave it and maybe just top fill it if it needs some more soil. So the roots on this are pretty hefty already, sending those tap roots out. So we'll see how easy this comes out. Not too bad, not too bad. But you can see here what I'm working with. So let's see how far down I have to loosen the root ball to make this work. So probably about a couple of inches. So we are gonna be loosening this. All right, I think that's straight. I think it looks good. So that'll probably do me for it now. I hope you're able to go out, make something beautiful in your world today. And until the next one, Bye, y'all.